doing what you love to do. It's kind of cool. No, he's around now. Oh yeah, Kurala, because Joey, who was my age, we were the class of '81. I went to Tahiti, he was at Foster. And Joey was one of the best athletes I've ever seen to this day. Phenomenal. Our old PPO, the same as my Ropo. Him and this kid named Tom Mills and Scott Richards, they helped take Foster to state, and Foster hadn't been to state either. And they didn't finish it, but they were a hell of a team. And Joey used to, he was quarterback, DB, punter, kicker, returned everything, he was one of those. And so anyway, after that season, Mike got his offer to Puyallup, and to this day, and it's funny, like I seen Damon last Friday night, got to meet Sark, by the way, that was cool. Had him sign one of my mini helmets. He was down at the Puyallup game checking out one of their linemen down there. I remember seeing those down there, and I see Damon quite a bit, well, I don't want to say quite a bit, but enough anyway, and he's always said, man, your cousin to this day was the best athlete I've ever seen, and coming from somebody that's played in the pros and all that. But he says that about Joe. He says, to this day, the best athlete I've ever seen. Yeah, Damon and Brock were just little guys at the time, and they were running around. He just killed the time, and they were running. Tim played golf with him, and yeah. In fact, Dan played with him. Yeah, Herbert. Yeah, that's right. Because Nan was with him that day. Well, you know that he's coaching down there now. It's so funny because out in practice to this day, he'll run a lot of like scout team stuff, and he'll play quarterback. And, oh man, he still moves and wings the ball. And he'll pick it up on the sideline. He could be going to throw a ball or come over on the yellow side and run instead of other side, and he'll pick it up and just stand there and flat-footed and wing it across. He's their old coordinator now. Dan's a great dude too. I'm sure Dan told you what a nice guy is. He is what you see. And I'll tell you what, he still is, yeah. Well, he was going to do counselor, but then he was telling me the last I heard he was running for like a state seat, I believe. But yeah, he's a good dude. I really like him. Yeah, I don't know if you heard, but I went down to Texas this year with the Bethel High School football team. They went down to play Permian, the team that was on Friday Night Lights. You know the movie? We went down to play them last year. They went down, and I could have went with them last year, but my godson was finishing his last year at Puyallup. So I stayed to catch his game, but I told him I'd go this year. And so we went down there, and man, I'll tell you what, and I've got it all on videotape. I've got to get the time to put it together. But you got to see all these facilities and stuff. It's just hard to believe. Their players' indoor practice facility, 50 yards. This is high school football, remember. Their weight room's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Their fans on a night of a big game. And Kim is pissed. Kim is pissed. She lost that one and she wanted to get even. But on a big game night, they said their fans will wait out 3 and 4 days to get tickets to high school football. They've got season ticket holders, and they've got a waiting list for those. And just things that we just plan. First, the day before, we stopped at this other high school stadium, and I'm telling you, so much nicer than the garbage we got around here. Honest to goodness, I thought it was a college stadium. There's no doubt in my mind. I think it's so beautiful. The lockers with AC, they all had their own cubicles. They had taping rooms, coaches' rooms, you name it. I mean, just incredible. And then, so we went to the stadium we're going to be playing at, just to show the kids and let's stop for like 15, 20 minutes when we pulled into town. And a bunch of them were going up and checking out the press box. People up there. Who do you know?
I know Randy Hansen.
Oh yeah, Randy Hansen? Debbie? Yeah. Like Debbie.
I was really good friends with Randy.
Really? Yeah. Pat here? Oh yeah, Padilla? Yeah, Pat's a great dude. Oh yeah. How'd you know these guys soccer? Right. They all played up as freshmen. They were playing in varsity baseball. They were pretty talented. And then Randy, yeah, he went to Madrona with all my younger brother and whatnot.
How's he start playing?
Right outside there on the pavement. He's a big shot with the Sounders, I heard. I think, if I got it right, yeah. Okay. Oh, I didn't know that. Really? I didn't know he was a UPS women's coach. It's funny because my godson's just going to transfer back to play football at UPS. He went down at the Azusa Pacific with his brother, but he just, I don't think was looking for him. Barber's youngest son. I think that's what the latest rumor is anyway. Yeah. But like Caruccio last I heard, he's a hell of a softball player, regardless. He never, in high school, never really just... Yeah, those were all good guys. Sean Haynes, boy, that sounds familiar. Well, it sounds familiar, but... I grew up right off of 200th Street, just off Pack Highway. East side. You know where right by Madrona. I could have thrown a rock and hit Madrona. You know where the front of Madrona is? Okay, if you were in the school looking out towards the front, that road there is 32nd, I believe. If you went out to that road and took a left, like you're going towards 200th, you would take a right on 202nd, which is your last right before you got to 200. We were just down, I think. But Debbie was a sweetheart. Just as really good girl. You ever talk to her?
Yeah.
What was she doing the last you heard? She live in this greater area? Or? That kind of happens, huh? Randy's a good dude. I tell you, he was a buddy of mine, but he was just more of a pain in the ass than anything. But he was probably one of their better soccer players, I would guess. I don't know. Maybe one of their better soccer players. Maybe when he was a senior, he was a few years ahead of Randy and those guys. Yeah, Kevin Grillo and what's his name, Walker. I know exactly Billy Walker. Yeah. She left. So I think part of it was too is that his dad wanted to try to get involved with it, you know, and you can't have a dad doing that either. That's not real good. Handicap. What was his name? I forget. Yeah. Felt bad for that kid. What a sad. They're like sisters to me. Dead serious. Sherry's mom just about married my dad, and they were. It's funny because my dad was a wonderful man, and his my mom and he got divorced years and like when I was in the first grade. My mom was a good woman. She just had some issues, and unfortunately they went back to what had happened to her as a young girl, and she just couldn't shake it. Her grandfather worked and stuff. So anyway, her and my dad got divorced when I was young, and then my dad got remarried, and that little tramp. And then Joanne, which was McCray's mom, her and her husband, who my dad knew both of them from way back in elementary school. His name was Ron. They got a divorce, and they'd been divorced for quite some time. And one day, my dad and Joanne just started getting reacquainted or whatever, and they dated shit. I don't know what the hell ever stopped them from getting married. I think Joanne was being goofy, playing games or something. My dad had enough and booted her, but anyway, we've known those guys shit since we were little kids, and they're literally like sisters to me. Oh yeah, she worked at EI, right? Oh really? Did Dan work there? Really? So Dan works for Chrissy. What a joy that must have been. Yeah, Jeff's a good dude. Christy and I were boyfriend and girlfriend when we were like 12. But I don't know if he's. Oh man. Yeah, growing up, if he had a spare day or spare anything, he was off to the river. And on holidays, literally, we never seen him on all the holidays and stuff. This guy who she actually is with now. And it's funny because she didn't really like the guy, but she just wanted to, you know, just talk about it. Just wanted to, you know, once you kept talking about it, right where you're going to the tunnel, you take the left there. Yeah. Yep. I know exactly. Boy, man, sounds really familiar. Who did I know from I'm trying to think. Oh, there's a couple of baseball players I'm trying to think of. Brock Adams, was it? Brock? Real nice guy. A lot. And I'm trying to remember who else was up there from right now. Yeah, Kaczynski. He used to be the most annoying. Yes, I only say that about next year I'm leaving your team. I was like, yeah, Franklin. I said, George, you promised my brother to play. You didn't play. So the next year I got to play Divine's team in the championship, and I was playing with the A's that year. And we ended up beating them. And it was so funny because after the game I said, hey, Mr. Divine, I always respected him even to this day because that's how I was raised. And I said, hey, coach, you need to change your bunt signal. He licked it.